Welcome to this episode of MBNA's Monument Matters, a podcast produced by Monument Builders of North America for all things memorialization. I'm your host, Mike Johns, CM, AICA, from the Johns Carabelli Company, Cimarano Monuments and Flowers in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. I'm also a past president of Monument Builders of North America. MBNA is a 118-year-old association whose mission is to define and promote memorialization in a viable, innovative, and diversified way for its membership and to enhance awareness of memorialization by the general public and the remembrance industry. In that spirit of promoting memorialization, the MBNA Marketing Committee has launched this podcast as an extension of our monthly magazine, MB News. Each podcast episode features a discussion related to a magazine theme. Monument Matters podcasts invite everyone to listen and share. You'll find all of the episodes of our first season on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Today, I'm talking with my friend Scott Neal, General Manager of Paradise Pictures, LLC, a leading supplier of memorial portraits to the death care and memorialization industry. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Mike.
After receiving his degree in accounting from California State University, Chico, Scott worked for a major accounting firm before joining Paradise Pictures in 1999. Paradise Pictures was founded in 1991 and became an MBNA member in 1997. As an active member of MBNA, Scott served as the association's treasurer for 6 years, from 2015 to 2021. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today, Scott.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here.
As someone who has been affiliated with MBNA for over 25 years, share with me how MBNA membership has become a part of your company's success.
Well, the thing I think of most is the beginning. When we joined and we started to really attend the show, which was in 99, I think it was Las Vegas, possibly Orlando during that period of time. I will tell you that it has made a huge difference in our ability to meet the monument builder where they are, talk to them, share with them the things that we do. It was a huge format. It was very, very instrumental in how we got started.
And how has it impacted your personal success?
It's taught me a ton. I've made friends. It really, personally, it really helped me understand the industry and therefore enabled me to turn around and return value back to the industry and return my contribution, which I'm sure we'll get into. But being able to contribute is what makes it better for all of us.
Great. Thanks, Scott. So what MBNA resources, events, or networking are the most valuable to you personally? Has that changed over time?
Yeah, good question. I think the biggest resource available to us has been the annual convention, be it either the education convention or the full industry show. Again, the ability to meet with the monument dealer and talk with them about the challenges they're having, the things that they're needing, the creativity that they're applying to the memorialization that they're doing, really, really has helped. So the trade show, probably number one. Number two is the magazine, full of information, lots of education. I've learned a ton. I read it every month from cover to cover. And from a supplier side, I would say advertising in the magazine, it's really created some exposure and top of mind for us. We've been in it for many, many years. So I'd say those two things are the biggest thing. Other than people. I've made a lot of friends, a lot of lifelong friends. Even after we're done doing what we're doing, I still have people out there that are friends outside of the industry itself because of this.
I would agree with that people point. You know, there's a lot of nuts and bolts, everyday things that you can bring the value add back to your business. But I think for me personally, All those things aside, what resonates the most with me is the friendships and the relationships that I've built through the vehicle that is MBNA membership.
I would agree. I would agree. And that friendship is turns into we've called it many times on the board when we serve together, the cliche, but you get more out of it than you put into it. And I'm sure we'll get to that a little bit later, but the people you meet, you'd be surprised what you're going to learn from them. And they're across the country, and they're telling you how they do something differently, and it can change. It can change the way you do business. And I've heard story after story, year after year, where that happens all the time.
Absolutely. Those tidbits come in the strangest places sometimes, you just out of nowhere. I have never come away from a convention not being better for having gone.
I I would agree. Same for me.
Uh, so if someone listening is not an MBNA member, what would you tell them to consider?
I would say we are stronger as a group, and they need to find their path to participation. Like we mentioned earlier, I truly believe this, and you really got to open your head and think about it. Is you put yourself into it, you will get a lot more out of it. Sure, there's a cost associated with it, but at the same time, there are very few opportunities, I think, in general, to invest in our businesses that are so specific to the memorial dealer. The fact that you could be surrounded by them is a pretty wild opportunity. And by not choosing to participate, I think you're leaving something on the table. Lifelong learning is a thing, and you will definitely, if you come and put into it, you'll get more out of it. So keep learning. You'd be surprised that there are things out there that you can learn. I really believe that.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now I'm gonna go off script a little bit for just a second because this whole idea of inclusion and participation, both from the retail member perspective and the supplier member perspective, is something that I want to talk about for just a second. I think it's critically important that we have the supplier manufacturer partners in MBNA to make the association just as strong as it can be. And I think that most vendors, most suppliers would agree with that. But I think there are some that are concerned. They feel like the the customers that they have are a captive audience, and they might be reluctant to let them be exposed to some members that are their competition, right? So it can be a double-edged sword. What do you say to those folks?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, it even gets into the do you invite your customers to come because they might see somebody that competes with you. I say, I say lean into getting your customers there. You'll benefit them. They'll remember you for benefiting them. When it comes to the competition piece, you just got to be as good as you can. Being in business for yourself, and we can say this from a supplier's perspective, or even from the monument dealer's perspective, it's a battle every day. It's a battle every day to make the next sale. It's a battle every day to get that customer. It's a battle every day to not lose that customer. That battle is what makes us good. And if you shy away from it, I think you're, again, to use my phrase, leaving something on the table. There are things out there that your customers are going to thank you for when they get exposed to it if you can convince them to come to the show. So I would say run towards it, don't run away from it. Participation is key. Everybody wins when that happens.
Thanks, Scott. I think that's a great perspective. I think that you're right. If you're one of those suppliers that's concerned about your customers seeing your competition, maybe that tells you something, right? Maybe there's
Sure.
some opportunity for you to up your game, right?
Yeah.
A reason to say, hey, these folks have an opportunity to look elsewhere, so I need to be sure that I'm providing them the best possible service that I can. And as long as I'm doing that, I should be okay, right? I should be successful.
I would absolutely agree, and at the same time, it's going to make you better. It's going to always, and again, striving to improve, it will definitely make you better.
Great. Thanks, Scott.
Sure.
So recently, MBNA rocked Cleveland for the 2025 Monument Industry Show, my hometown. As someone who has been to quite a few industry shows, not just through MBNA, but other allied industries, what did you experience this year in Cleveland?
I love Cleveland from the day I walked in to the day that I left. It was a fantastic experience. The show floor was amazing. The decorator that we're working with now, Rico, and his group at Steel, did a wonderful job setting a great show up. It was very easy to move around. I liked the center stage. It was really, really good. We've had other great shows in the 20 or so years since I've been doing them. But this one was really, really good. And I just have to say, if you weren't there, I'm really sorry that you weren't, because you missed something. Pardon me, sorry about that. Yeah, you missed something. We had, at least for our company, we had a ton of interactions. There was a very engaged retailer there at this show. Honestly, I think more so than in quite a while. So I think from the supplier's perspective, it was really, really good. We had a ton of booth traffic. We had a lot of interest. We had a lot of, not to get promotional, but we had a lot of Buy USA. We know that's a topic right now, in our larger sphere. With regard to the way the show ran, it ran extraordinarily well. I think we're very fortunate to have the management company that we have. From all I can see from the outside, not being on the board anymore, I see their communication game has gone way up for us. I see tons of information, which has been great. So I think that they're doing a good job, and I think we're very fortunate to have them. With regard to education is always good. There were some great topics this year. I was unfortunately not able to get to them, but I've heard good stories on the show floor about them.
Great. Thanks, Scott. I think kudos are definitely due to RGI for the way they are elevating MBNA and its um, value proposition and what we're bringing, what the board is bringing to its members. That's only going to grow and improve. Rico and his team, as you said, really understand what we need out of a trade show, and they are able to provide exactly what we're looking for. They just did a super job. Also, kudos go to the setup and teardown crew. That's all MBNA member volunteers that take time out of their busy day to set up all those pieces of granite that you see. That show is not possible without the member volunteer participation. So thanks to all of those folks that took time to support MBNA in that way as well. So we know now that there were over 800 attendees at the show, including over 550 retailers. You must have had a lot of conversations, right? What are you hearing about the state of the industry, and what are your key takeaways regarding that?
Yeah, so far our conversations have been very positive. I think we're going to go down the state of the industry. I think the industry is strong. I think the consumer, we're concerned about the consumer right now. There's a lot of, for lack of a better word, turmoil with regard to trade and independent of what side of politics you're on, and I don't want to go there. But other than that, the issues that we have, I think, how do I say this? I think right now the consumer is very cautious, And I think that I don't hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm worried that the consumer will be cautious this year, and it will be an average year for memorial sales. If something changes in the next few months, we could unleash a fury in the second half of this year, but it's really, really early to tell. So, the monument dealer itself, I think, is very, very strong. I think they're ready to do the work. I worry about the consumer a little bit this year.
All right, thanks for that, Scott. I think for us, the first quarter was very slow. This winter was a killer. It wasn't completely snow covered, but there was something about it. It was colder, longer, snowier, longer, even though the amount of snow maybe wasn't as we have had in the past, but it was a winter from November to March. And so we're glad to see that coming to an end. I know the cemeteries in our market are easily 30 or 45 days behind where they were this time last year and even the year before and the year before that. It's just been wet and difficult. And I'm sure if you're like me, you're very happy to start to see the sun coming out and things starting to warm up. So here's hoping that that consumer is really less concerned than you think. But I think there is some caution to be had there for sure. Well, Scott, I want to thank you for taking time to spend with me and our audience today. I really appreciate your willingness to share your thoughts on our association and our industry. I'm happy to consider you among the many good friends that I've had a chance to work and spend time with as a result of our participation in MBNA.
Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate having me on, and thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. So to recap, if you weren't in Cleveland, you missed a great show, but there's a lot of good coming down the pike. Next year's convention is going to be primarily sponsored by MB University, so it'll be an educational heavy show in Dallas, Fort Worth. So look forward to that. The April issue of MB News highlights the ever-evolving MBNA member benefits. I encourage anyone considering membership to visit the MBNA website to download the full member benefits handbook. The May issue of MB News is an expanded issue with photos from the 2025 Monument Industry Show, along with a full contact list featuring all of the exhibitors that were present in Cleveland. It's a great reference tool for anyone in the monument industry. Thank you for listening to Monument Matters. MBNA invites you to stay connected through Facebook and LinkedIn, or visit www.monumentbuilders.org for upcoming events and webinars. For MBNA, I'm Michael Johns. Thanks for taking time out of your day to listen. If you found it worthwhile, please share the link with a friend. For comments and feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop a note to info@monumentbuilders.org. And in the words of the infamous Jane Curtin, good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.